She quit Wall Street and impacted over 263 million lives through her business. Jacqueline Novogratz created Acumen to invest in entrepreneurs that are tackling poverty with their businesses. Their vision is to go to the people that aid and the free market can't reach. Their approach includes 4 key components. First, they use patient capital to give startups the flexibility to reach as many customers as possible. Second, they always focus on early stage opportunities. Third, they provide expertise through the startup phase. And fourth, they give support post-investment regarding strategy and best practices. Now, these 4 practices and methods allowed them to invest $146 million in 155 companies focused on impact. And impact starts by going where nobody else dares to go. So where are you headed? Of course, as you're headed there, you might be asking yourself the question, well, this is where I'm going. I'm clear on that, but how do I get there? And for that, we can look at Acumen. The first thing they do, they use patient capital. So now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, how do we use patient capital? When we look at them, they're allowing entrepreneurs to have flexibility on their return metrics and their cash flow. And that's really important because startups may have an initial large cost to get going. They may have to incur payment for materials, payments for marketing, payments for staff, and with incurring all of these costs, they may really struggle to get that cash flow in the beginning. And so when you give them a flexible timeline, they can get the cash flow coming in later down the road. So that's how Acumen does it. What does patient capital look like in our lives as individuals? If you don't have a business yet, if you don't own any assets yet, I would say patient capital is investing money in a way where you don't need it to grow quickly right now. You work from stability and you get stability in numbers. So what do I mean by that? When you're investing money and you don't need it to grow right now, it's like, hey, I live off $3,000 every month. I make $4,500 every month, and I'm saving $500. I'm spending $3,000. I'm investing $1,000. Chances are you're not going to need to access that $1,000, and you don't need it to grow quickly because you don't need it for anything coming up fast. Everything that's coming up can be covered by the $500 that you're saving every month, right? And your $3,000 in expenses. And anything else, you just raise your income and work on that, or you switch around the budget. But the point is, the money you invest, you're okay not seeing it for 30 years. If you invest like that and you invest patiently, that's how true wealth is built, and that's how you work from stability. And I think the best way to get stability is to do it in numbers. We're all operating as if we and our $65,000 salary or $55,000 or $85,000 or $125,000 is all the money we have access to. But what we're not realizing is that that very capital we received from our employer, somebody else's pocket. We have plenty of people around us. There are plenty of pockets to receive more money from. When we get stability in numbers and access opportunities that are leveraged that we wouldn't have been able to access alone, that's how we can really grow wealth as a community and make sure everybody's covered. Because now we have plenty of people all living off, we have 10 people in a community all living off $3,000, all saving $500, and all investing $1,000. So now you're investing $10,000 a month, you're saving $5,000 a month, and you're spending, $30,000 a month, and everybody's good to go. If one has a very unexpected expenditure, you're saving $5,000 a month. Not many expenses that aren't covered by insurance are going to cost more than $5,000 a month, right? And you'll be able to cover everybody in the group that way. And so that's why there's stability in numbers, and why double income, no kids is such a cool thing. Imagine 10x income, no kids. That's what we could be doing in our mid-20s, late 30s. So the next thing that Acumen does, early stage opportunities, that's what they focus on. And they do it because the largest upside is pre-scaling. Companies in their startup phase that are really trying to get product market fit and make sure they can scale their product and get the systems down have the largest upside. So that's why they invest there. And I think people are very similar. If you focus on early stage people, they're easy to access. And when you develop together and you have that patient capital outlook, that patient timeline, then you'll realize that getting a lot of early stage people together and rallying them around one vision and one goal will help you guys develop together and will build the community that helps you capture that large upside. Because if you think about it, I'm 24 right now. We get a bunch of 24-year-olds together. We could go anywhere. Like when Jeff Bezos was 24, he was working at McDonald's. We could literally, or he was 23 working at McDonald's, but we could literally go anywhere in the next 30 years. When we focus on early stage people and choose to develop together and pick something to focus on, there's very few people that can hold us back. Very few things that can hold us back. So we've addressed patient capital, kind of stability in numbers by getting a bunch of people together to kind of cover those expenses. Focusing on early stage opportunities is what Acumen does. They have patient capital, early stage opportunities. We get stability in numbers and invest money we don't need. And then we also focus on early stage people, build community that's focused on a common vision, common goal, where we're going somewhere together. The next thing, they value expertise. Their network of advisors really help all of these startups function. They have marketing experts, sales experts, product market fit experts, product experts, building a team experts, scaling experts. Like they have all of these experts and advisors that come into these startups and help them grow. Very similarly, you have people around you. I would start with your job. Network in your job. There are people in your job who are ahead of you that can help you. But even more than that, you can network at these kind of local meetups. You can network on LinkedIn. You can network on Twitter. Just plenty of ways to network and get with people who are ahead of you, who know more than you do. And you can figure out ways to add value to their life, to work under them. And I'm telling you, the best way to do that right now is at your job. You get in a job to learn. That's the only reason you should be in a job. If you're not learning or you're not getting an opportunity to kind of stretch your skills and see where you can go, and even if you're getting an opportunity to stretch your skills but you're not learning, you probably don't want to be in that job. You want to go somewhere where you can learn, right? And so that's where I would say you guys should network and where I'm challenging myself to network. I don't have a bunch of advisors right now, but I do have people at my job that I can tap into and the masterminds that I can tap into. And the final thing that Acumen focuses on is support post-investment. And the way that they do this is that they help startups with their strategy and then their best practices. What are the best practices for building a team, for marketing, for sales, for interacting with this customer base, and then what's your go-to-market strategy? How are we going to take that and how are we going to execute it? I think very similarly. Even after you develop these relationships, so you've got the patient capital outlook, so you're investing in numbers together for the long term, and you're growing your network actively. And I'm blanking on what the second one was. It was, you got patient capital, growing your network, and after you've done the third thing, I forgot what it was right now, but you need systems to build and grow relationships that have aligned interests. And so, here it is. So after you get the patient capital mindset and you're investing in a way that is sustainable, where you don't need the capital anytime soon, and you're investing in early stage people, you're getting a community of people together that are young, and you're expanding your network, you now set up systems to build and grow these relationships. And so it's the consistent, how many times a week do we meet? What are we doing together? How are we growing together? Who are we impacting? Like, what is the purpose? What is the intention behind our time? Once you start to clear that up, get systems around it. Be like, hey, every Monday at this time, every Tuesday at this time, every Thursday at this time, and every Saturday at this time, this is what we're doing, and this is why, and here's how we're holding ourselves accountable, and here's the intent behind it. So yeah, that's what we got for you guys today on the show. That's how you can start to thrive and impact people like Acumen. There are entrepreneurs out here in the impact game right now. Let's make sure we join them. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys on the next one. And remember, we are a community of people judged not by our wealth, but by our impact.